Hello my lovely Trails fans, welcome back to our next episode of Trails in the Sky. Alrighty, so you may have just noticed there, just before the this episode really started, I threw in some clips for Richard's S-Crafts and for Mueller's. Because I had a request that I would show off Richard's S-Class. His Sakura Moonblade is a lot cooler than the Afterglow one. But I wanted to show them both, and I couldn't remember if we'd shown Mueller's yet, so I went ahead to show off his S-Craft as well. So just before we go to the next area, I went ahead and got rid of the party members just so I can kind of talk to them, because it kind of looks like Joshua and Estelle are having a little moment over here, so I want to see what's going on. You big dummy. I come to cheer you up, and yet you've already picked yourself up and dusted yourself off. You can lean on me once in a while, you know. Having a big sister has its perks. Well, I appreciate the sentiment. I really am fine, though. If anything right now, I'm actually grateful to the Lord of Phantasma. Thanks to them, I was actually able to say what I couldn't back on the Libet Arc. Kind of like how I felt when I was able to meet Mum again through Luciola's illusion then. Well, I hope Lo's up there with Karen feeling just as peaceful as we do right now. Yeah. So yeah, if there's any more requests from anybody, I'm happy to serve them. I try to get to them as soon as I can, but I am usually a couple of episodes ahead with my recordings, just because of time constraints. I can't like do them the night before. I usually just try and do 1 or 2 or 3 on the weekend, and then edit them all and upload them all in one go. But anyway. Oh, good evening. It's a lovely night, isn't it? It's a shame we can't see the moon from here, but the stars are pretty enough to make up for that. Ren? I've got a really neat idea, actually. It's not often you have this many strange people in one place. So how about we all go and play hide and seek? Isn't that really black glorious? Doesn't that sound exciting? Yeah, let's not do that. That would be quite a game of hide and seek. There's probably a lot of places to hide there. Okay, so I'm gonna do some quick changes with my party. I did actually do some leveling up on the Shining Palms. So Olivier is now level 125, and we got a little bit of Septim. It looks like the maximum Septim you can get in a fight in this game is 300 instead of the 90 from like the first 2 games. So I'm going to change my party composition around, and then I will meet you outside the entrance to the Royal Villa. Alrighty, and here we are, just outside the entrance. So I've just got Kevin and Reese with me right now. I believe they're the characters I kind of have to go in here with, and obviously I took Joshua and Estelle because they've been like the main protagonists for the other 2 games, so basically this is a full protag gang right now, so let's go on in. Missed? Well, once again, we're in for some fun times up ahead. No telling what it could be, but we'll have to walk through here eventually. Just take a deep breath and step inside, I guess. What? I knew it. Where are we now? This doesn't look like Herb Royal Villa. Oh, you're right. Wait, isn't that the church's emblem? Kevin? Welcome to Astor House, the place where Reese, Rufina and I grew up together. And that's the end of Chapter 6. The Guardian's Trials. So let's go ahead and get a sneak peek at the beginning of Chapter 7. Because obviously we can't end the video with only it being like 5 minutes long. Didn't realise it was this short. Chapter 7. The Distant Flames. This is only a copy of Astor House, yes? But it looks so... Yeah, I can barely bring myself to accept it's not the real thing. Everything from the feel of the earth underfoot to the smells in the air are just like the real thing. Yeah. So this is where the two of you grew up, huh? I'm guessing this is somewhere owned by the Septium Church, right? That's right. It's what's called a gospel facility. Think of them as a cross between an orphanage and a monastery. I see. So does that mean... Well, no reason to dance around it, so yep, I'm an orphan. And how I came to be here is a story best saved for another day. Feels weird being back here again, though. It's been about 5 years. 5 very long years. Well, anyway, we're bound to find some kind of clue as to how to get to the 7th plane somewhere in here. You guys up for having a look around the area with me? Yeah, let's go. I just realized we didn't even go and do the doors on the 6th plane. In fact, what doors do we even have to do on the 6th plane? Happiness comes in many forms. Presents me a form of happiness you've attained on... I think I've already done Moon Door 5. Can't do 14 yet. Can't do 13 yet. Okay, so the only door I think we can actually really do anyway is Sun Door 5, which is a mini-game. I don't feel like doing a mini-game right now, though. Like, we've already started dipping our toes into this story, so... Let's do a little bit of story stuff right now, and then, on the next episode, we can go and tackle that door. There's an empty well. We used to get our drinking water out of here. And we had no fancy orbal pumps either. We did it all using a good old-fashioned bucket with string attached. It was a nightmare. Tell me about it. We would go out on winter mornings and come back with our hands numb and red raw. But looking back on the whole experience now, it was fun in its own way. I guess it was. What's this room? This is the living room, where we used to have all of our meals. Just don't make the mistake of thinking it was a warm place like Mercia Orphanage. The matron here was a stubborn old sister who was strict as could be. Every mealtime we had to pray so much that our stomachs had given up on getting fed by the end of it, and we got yelled at for the tiniest thing. Ouch, that does sound harsh. That sounds like about what you'd expect from a church-run orphanage, though, I suppose. You deserved it all, in my opinion. You never did as you were told, and caused her nothing but grief. Okay, I'll admit that's probably accurate, but still. As you can probably guess, this right here's the kitchen. This is where the older children of the facility did the cooking. It was also Reese's favourite place to sneak into whenever she had a hankering for some food. Kevin! She did, huh? That makes sense, knowing you. There's a sight I can hardly imagine. But please don't take everything he says at face value. Well, anyway. This was always Rufina's turf back when she was still here. She was always out here around mealtime making food for me, Reese and the other kids. After she left, Reese and I took over her position. That brings back memories. Of course, then you left too, leaving me to handle it all alone. Ugh. The mere thought aggravates me. In fact, I think you should whip up something right now to make up for your selfishness. Yes, ma'am. I'll make you something. Later. The only thing less reliable than a promise with later attached to the end is one said by you. It's not going to get my hopes up. Oh, man, no faith in me, huh? I don't really want to go in the bedroom yet until I've looked around in maybe this one. The door is stuck fast and doesn't have a keyhole. How does this door open? This is the side entrance that only opens from the inside. We can't get in from the outside. Yeah, if we want to get into the chapel, we're going to have to go through the front. I don't know. The chapel seems kind of important. Maybe I'll go in there after we've checked out the bedrooms. This was the matron's room. No one's here now, though. Yeah. By the way, Reese, how is the matron these days? She's fine. Her injuries weren't lasting. She hasn't had the energy she used to ever since retiring, unfortunately. She really wanted to see you again, Kevin. She did, huh? This here's the kids' bedroom. I slept here back when I was first taken in before graduating to the boys' bedroom. You never really did mix well with the other children. Rufina had such a hard time trying to get you to make friends with them. It was a real ordeal for her, you know? Yeah, I know. I was like a little hedgehog who didn't want to let anyone get near back then. I feel sorry for everyone who had to put up with me. I'm still amazed you even bothered trying to be friendly. Well, I know you were the only playing tough. Like that time with Rufina and the chocolate. Stop! We're not hearing that story here! Now I'm really curious. I wonder what happened. Oh, we know what happened. This is the boys' bedroom where I slept until I was about 10 years old. Technically, the boys and the girls weren't supposed to enter one another's bedrooms. That never stopped Reese here from doing it all the time, though. What he neglects to mention is that it was his fault I did so. What else was I supposed to do when he slept in every morning he was on cleaning duty? Well, you couldn't have just knocked on the door until I got up. But then I'd disturb the other boys who were sleeping, which would have been unfair. They weren't the ones shirking their duties. It was 100% your fault. Fine, fine. Whatever you say. This here's the girls' bedroom. The place where Rufina slept her nights. Same for you eventually too, Reese. I even used to sleep with her from time to time. Her bed was always cozy and smelled really nice. It was much nicer than sleeping in my own. After she left here, her bed became mine. I bet you were jealous. You bet. I was at the time, I'll admit. Oh? I thought you'd be a bit more flustered than that. I shouldn't have even bothered saying anything. Give me a break. She likes to get him riled up, doesn't she? Alright, I guess we go into the chapel then. The door is locked. Figures. Is it locked? Yep. Well, whatever. We can keep poking around. But where else is there to poke? I think we poked around everything, did we not? Where could I poke around some more? Am I supposed to re-enter any rooms? Should I try leaving? Well, leaving does not cause any issues. Maybe I should try the well again. There's got to be something around here that I've neglected to interact with. But what is the question? I mean, you'd think maybe there would be a key in this room or something. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna cut the video and try and look around more thoroughly and see what's going on. Okay, that was weird. Apparently I just need to leave that room again. There was no sign of anything in there. Our last hope seems to be the chapel. So it seems. What is it, Kevin? Hey, Reese. You were the one responsible for cleaning the chapel that day, right? What day? On Astor House's final day, when Rufina died. Kevin? You don't think... That was what I was told when I went to visit the matron afterward, at least. Well, were you? Yeah. I was. Why? I thought so. Check your pockets, Reese. I'm pretty sure the chapel key's in one of them. Huh? Reese began checking the pockets of her habit. Eventually she found an old brass key. It can't be. No way! I see now. I guess this is just another manifestation of Phantasma's ability to make thoughts into reality. Honestly, I wasn't entirely sure you'd find it in there. But in all the other areas on this plane, there was always a reason to take the person we needed with us. This just goes to show that you really were meant to come here, Reese. But... No. As disbelieving as I am, this is definitely the chapel's key. I suppose all we can do right now is to try and go inside. Yeah. Before we go in here, Reese, there's something I should warn you about. Once we step through that door, there'll be no going back. You're going to find out the truth about what happened that day. All of it. And you won't like it. Are you sure you're ready for what you're about to find? I'm more than ready. All these years, I've never quite been able to accept what happened here. The life I thought I knew just suddenly came to an end, with all of us getting moved to other places, and I still don't even know why. I even tried to come back here just before beginning my training to become a squire, but it had already been demolished. I've been ready for a long time. I want to know the truth. And more than anything, I feel like knowing will let me get closer to you and Rufina. Okay. Let's head on in then. Right. Should the rest of us wait outside for this? No. Actually, I'd prefer if you came in with me. This is relevant to you guys too, in a sense. It all started 5 years ago. A Jaeger Corps someone had hired took this place over out of nowhere. By the way, how much do you remember of that day, Reese? Just so I know. I just remember a group of men in black forcing their way through the gate and charging in here. They tied everyone up, took the matron up to the second floor, and then... Next thing you knew, you were in a bed in the hospital in town, right? After which you found out that Rufina and I had come to rescue everyone, and that she had died in the process. That about right? Uh-huh. Just what happened, Kevin? All I've heard is that it was the work of someone who opposed the church. But I haven't had a chance to meet you since then, much less to talk to you about it. I tried asking Instructor Cellnate, but she wouldn't say a word. That doesn't surprise me. The Graf Schritter's commander can't admit this orphanage was being used as a smokescreen for an artifact that needed sealing away. It what? Here we go. A secret passage? Wait! If there was an artifact here, you don't mean... Yup. Below here is a primal ground used to seal artifacts away, just like the one on the Gransel Cathedral. What? The plot thickens. I'm sure you remember. The day it all happened, Rufina and I were due to come back here for the first time in a while. We were both coming from different places we'd been sent, so we wanted to meet up in town and come the rest of the way together. But then her train was delayed, leaving me in town to wait for her alone. That was when I got word of what happened. All I could think was that you and the other kids were in danger, and so I decided to try and take out the Jaegers here alone. They weren't all that experienced, so fighting them wasn't even hard for a squire like me. Before long, I was able to disable them all and free the matron and the other kids. Or so I thought. You were nowhere to be seen. I asked the other kids where you were. They told me one of the Jaegers had taken you somewhere else and that you were unconscious. I looked frantically all over trying to find you before eventually stumbling across this place. As for how, you remember how you didn't have your ribbon in your hair when you woke up, Reese? I do. Well, what does that have to do with anything? I found that ribbon in front of the secret passage we've just gone through. And there were new footprints near it too, made easy to find the entrance. Oh. Anyway, after getting in here, I made my way down the staircase in pursuit of the Jaeger that had taken you. Hey, Reese, do you remember what I was like back when you first met me? Yeah, I was still young at the time, but it's as fresh as if it were only yesterday. You looked like you'd been swallowed by blackness, like there wasn't a single thread of hope bound to you. It was... scary. I kept wondering what must have happened to you, what you must have seen to make you end up that way. What must have happened to me, huh? Rufina seemed like she knew. Before I met you, I killed my mum. Maybe killed isn't the right expression. It's not like I directly did it. I still let her die, though. I've still got a responsibility for what happened. Growing up, it was basically me and my mum for the most part. My father showed his face from time to time, but not that much. From what I understand, he had another family elsewhere. But even without him, she did her best to look after me on her own. I loved her dearly, Kids in the neighborhood used to make fun of me for how I talked, which I got from her, but I just beat them up most of the time. She was always kind. She loved cooking and, yeah, I thought the world of her. When I was 7, my father, who had all the money in the world, chose to abandon her. At the best of times, she was always a frail person, and after that, she grew more and more despondent. Her health suffered. I tried everything a kid could do to cheer her up, but nothing I did worked. And during one winter's day when she must have finally had enough, she came over while I was sleeping and tried to strangle me. I'm so sorry, Kevin. I failed as your mother. But I'm not so tired. I'm so tired. At least this way. At least this way, the two of us can. I guess she figured that if we were both going to suffer, we might as well take the easy way out as a family. But I wouldn't let her take me with her. Before I knew what I was doing, I'd pushed her aside and ran barefoot out into the snow. I wandered around for a while after that. I couldn't understand what had happened or what she'd been trying to do. Eventually I could feel myself getting hungry. I thought that maybe she'd been able to clear her head. I made my way back home, nervous as could be, and... Sorry for making you listen to all this. Still, I think that's probably when it happened. When my stigma was carved inside me. What? Where are we? Who would have thought a place like this existed under an orphanage? This is where I finally caught up to the Jaeger who had you with him. He probably didn't think anyone was gonna come after him. The second he saw me, he panicked, and putting his gun down, he ran over to this pedestal right in front of us. On it was the artifact that required sealing away I mentioned earlier, the Spear of Loa. What's the Spear of Loa? A malignant spear that transforms the body of its wielder into that of a monster. It's hard to believe something like that could be a gift from the goddess, right? In any case, the cornered Jaeger grabbed it and used it. I didn't stand a chance. Much as I tried, I wasn't any match for the inhuman monster before me. He knocked me to the ground and then went to raise the spear against the still unconscious you. That's all it took. My stigma drew all of the spear's power from it into itself, and blasted it, magnified countless times over, into the Jaeger's body. The result wasn't even a battle. Our precious home became a slaughterhouse. By the end, he wasn't even recognizable, just thousands of lumps of flesh strewn all over the floor. After defeating him, my stigma's power was still coursing through my body. I'd never experienced anything like that before. I lost complete control of myself. At this point, Rufina arrived and she seemed to understand exactly what had happened. Using her bowgun and Templar sword, she was able to separate me from you and prevent me from doing you any harm. And then... When I returned to my senses, I was in her arms, dumbfounded. Her body was full of holes all over, but she hugged me as tightly as she could. That's when she drew her last breath. No. There it is. The truth you wanted. It wasn't that I couldn't save Rufina. I was the one who killed her. With my own hands, right in front of you. But you didn't! I didn't want to, maybe not, but that's just an excuse. If I'd been able to control my stigma's power instead of letting it consume me and fill me with bloodlust, it wouldn't have happened. If I wasn't so weak, she'd still be alive today. That's not all either. Looking at her standing before me at that moment, she reminded me of my mother. She reminded me of Mum when she came to strangle me. Suddenly this feeling of betrayal welled up inside me, this desire for revenge. So I filled her full of spears. I loved them both. I wanted to protect them both. And what did I do? I killed them both. Me. Why? Why did you... Why did I what? Why didn't you tell me this before? 5 years apart, and this is the first time you're telling me this? Sorry, I know I should have done it earlier, but now I have, and I'm ready for the consequences. So go on. If you want to avenge her, do it. If anything, it'd make me happy if you did. You're so stupid! What are you... You think I want to avenge her? That's not why I'm angry at all. Why have you shouldered a burden that great all this time on your own? We're family, Kevin! Why didn't you ever talk to me? Why didn't you ever let me hug you? Why didn't you let me do anything to help you? Reese... I finally understand. I always thought you were hunting down heretics as some kind of atonement for letting Rufina die. But that's not it at all, is it? Come on, Reese. I finally understand. You don't want to atone for anything. You don't want to get rid of your sense of guilt at all. You... That's right. He wants to be punished for what he did. Oh? The Lord of Phantasma. Why now, of all times? You have my congratulations on making it this far. Beyond here lies the seventh plane, the place of my birth, and the foundation of all planes hereafter. Thought so. And judging by how we have to go through here to get there, I was right, wasn't I? Right about what? Allow me to ask you once again. So, Kevin Graham, do you really want to see the face underneath this mask? Damn right I do. It's time to take that creepy mask thing and show us who you really are. Rufina Argent. What? With pleasure. What? It's not Wiseman! Rufina? I've missed you dearly, Reese. And as for you, Kevin, I'm impressed you were able to work out my real identity. It wasn't hard, I had a feeling from the start. The answer was right in front of my face the whole time, and your every taunt should have made me that much more sure. The only reason I couldn't be until now was because I didn't want to accept the truth. Quite. You always were a weakling. You can imagine how surprised I was when you were able to defeat my strongest knight. Talking about the Blade Lord? What connection does he even have to you anyway? I met him through my work, about 6 years ago. We were enemies at the time, but we managed to reach a compromise of sorts, and he felt he owed me a debt for as much. Alright, so you ended up summoning him in order to have him repay it. It's a crafty move, but that's not so out of character for you. Flattery won't get you anywhere with me. Still, now that you've made it this far, I assume you understand what I'm trying to do? Yeah, and I'm ready. Take me away. Wait, what are you two talking about? I would have thought you worked the answer to that out already, Reese. Do you recall what I said before? Kevin wants to be punished. Then you... I was born here in order to give him the punishment he strives for with his every breath. It was to that end that I recreated Phantasma into its current form and welcomed all of you here. All of this was a result of Kevin's desires. He wanted this to happen. You're lying. Sorry, she isn't. I couldn't tell you why it all actually happened, but what she says is true. No. The seventh plane is likely somewhere made for the express purpose of punishing me over and over. A fitting hell for someone who let his other mother die and killed Rufina to suffer and rot. And once I'm dropped down there, this'll all be over. Wait a second. Why should you have to do that? You can't be serious, Kevin. Reese. What do you think you're doing, Reese? That's not a very nice thing to do to your sister. Shut up. You're not my sister. My sister would never do something like this. Never! Reese. You promised me, Kevin. You promised me that you'd never do anything that would make Rufina sad. So what do you think you're doing? How can you believe sacrificing yourself for everyone would make her happy? Reese, stop. Who are you to say it wouldn't? I might not be the real Rufina, but I'm a very close copy of her. If Kevin wants to be punished, why wouldn't I want to give him his wish? Because that's not how Rufina was at all. She'd never indulge something like that, not in 1,000 years. Think back to when you first met us, Kevin. You'd given up on the world, like you just wanted to disappear. But did she let you do that? No. She forced chocolate down your throat and dragged you right back into the real world, even when you didn't want to, whether you liked it or not. She... Well, this is a surprise. You've grown a lot more than I was expecting, if you're able to talk back to me. Stop talking to me as if you're my sister. You are not, and I won't stand for you defiling her any further. Well, if that's how you want to do things. Perhaps I should invite you in Kevin's place? Me? No! The rest of you can stand by and watch. What? It's just like the one that devil used. Reese! Stop this! Rufina, she's got nothing to do with any of this! Oh, but she has. Consider this another part of your punishment. After all, if she suffers for all eternity in your place, that's going to make your suffering all the more potent, isn't it? Please. Go ahead and do your worst. Oh? Reese. Drop me wherever you like, I'll live. I'm never going to let Kevin be alone again. I will come back to him. Fighting words, my sweet sister. We shall see whether you can make good on them. Ah! Ah! Kevin? Ah! He's not letting her go without a fight. Hey. Hey, Reese. Wake up. Kevin? You okay? Feeling any pain? No, I'm okay, I think. But why are you... I fell through that crack alone. So why are you... You big dummy! Just flicked her. Me? What were you thinking with all that taunting? Go ahead and do your worst. Drop me wherever you like, I'll live. And just how do you know you'll live? Oh right, you don't. But... You're a squire, aren't you? A rookie like you with no experience or proper judgment has no business making calls that put her own safety at risk. If you can't promise to never do that again, then you and I both know that you're not cut out to be part of the Growl Shritter. That's probably what I should have been saying anyway, but it'd be real rich coming from me, huh? So I'll let you off with that little bop there. Huh? Look around us. This is it. The 7th plane. Wow. Literal hell. Gehenna. Gehenna. Yep, it's just like the Testament's brought to life. And I'm the one responsible for bringing it all. Oh? After all, if there's one place that's possible, it's Phantasma. I don't know how Rufina came back, but she did, with both memories and personality intact. And now I have the good fortune of being punished by one of the very people I wronged. I really couldn't think of a more fitting punishment for a bastard like me. Everything she said was dead on, more than anything I wanted to be punished. I figured that by accepting that punishment, all of this would be done and everyone else could go back to their lives. I thought I could be just like her, sacrificing my own life so everyone else could be saved. That wouldn't make me like her at all, would it? No. She might have given up her life to save ours, but that wasn't because she was happy to throw away her life to protect someone else's. It's because she saw literally no other option. With me unconscious, she didn't even have the choice to retreat. There was no way out of the situation without one of the three of us losing our lives. That's the only reason she chose to do what she did. Yeah. She was never the kind of person who would praise self-sacrifice as some kind of virtue. She'd only ever accept it as an option if all the others had been exhausted and it was truly the only way. Right, but this time that's not the case. You're here, I'm here, all of our friends are here. If we put our heads together, I'm sure we could have found another way out of here. One where no one would have to die. You must have realized that, and yet you tried to take the easy way out, didn't you? I hate to say it, but yeah, I did. That's a pretty shameful thing for a Dominion to be doing, huh? See? I've got no right to be criticizing you. I'm even less fit to be a knight than you. Still, standing around lamenting on my own failings isn't going to get us anywhere. So if you're up for walking, let's get ourselves out of here. Come again? What are you looking so surprised for? You didn't think I was going to stay here and accept being punished for all eternity, did you? Well, either that or stay here and wait for Rufina to show up again. Listen here, Reese. I'm not going to deny that there's a part of me, a big part, that wants to be punished for what I did. Or that there's a part of me that was overjoyed to see Rufina again, however it came to be. But I'm not alone down here. You're here with me, and believe me, that changes everything. As long as you're here, I'm not staying in this hellhole a second longer than I have to. We're getting out of here, you and me, no matter what it takes. Right. Oh wow, can't teleport out. So, what does she look like without it on? Okay, pretty much the same. Except her hair's all waving around. Oh, that was emotional. I can't believe that was Rufina. I honestly thought that was Wiseman. Wow. If anybody had guessed it was Rufina, go ahead and tell me in the comments. Because that was crazy. Alrighty, so I think that's what we're going to call today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you know when the next episode is coming out. If you want to watch some X4 Foundations videos, go ahead over to my other channel, Captain Shanra, and feel free to leave a comment on this video, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye bye for now.